sector, that is communication and broadcasting. I welcome you all, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Dr. Abhilasha Gaur, our Chief Operating Officer, will deliver the keynote address. I'll just set the context and give a small presentation. Sir. Can you get my laptop? I regret the small little bit, sir, because I have changed and I'm now using my colleague's laptop. So my presentation is in other laptop. So I'll just quickly So, sir, as you are aware, sir, we divide the complete electronic landscape and the canvas into 9 subsectors. That is the semiconductor and components, industrial automation, e-mobility, EMS, PCB design and manufacturing, consumer electronics and IT hardware, communication broadcasting, security and surveillance, and solar LED. Today, we are going to just discuss on a particular subsector about the competencies developed by us and how the sector is moving. And that is basically the communication and broadcasting sector. Our total bouquet of qualification packs developed by the Electronic Sector Skill Council of India, sir, we have 72 packs, and specifically we have 4 qualifications on the communication and broadcasting subsector, those being smartphone assembly technician, DTH set-top box installation and service technician, the digital access set-top box installation and service technician, and the digital cable technician access. All these 4 qualifications in the communication and broadcasting sector have the 10th as a basic entry requirement, and the NSQF level is level 4. That is a technician who can work without any support. So these are the competencies we have, and we have a large fraction in the sector because the sector is growing at a very rapid pace. And as per our market research, as per 2020, about 400,000 technicians were employed in the total sector. It is expected to grow to 570,000 by 2025, and we expected to have a 7.3% CAGR of growth. So as a council, we are in all readiness in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our capability, and in terms of the qualifications. Apart from this, any other requirements and demand for job role which comes up, we would be very happy to develop and work very closely with the industry. As you are aware, the electronic sector is growing at a very, very rapid pace, and now we're experiencing the real growth in electronic manufacturing. So we will have the discussions on the keynote address. I would request my Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Abhilasha Gaur, to give an address, and then we move on to our industry stalwarts for the industry speaker discussions. Over to Dr. Abhilasha.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Salim. Good morning, everyone. As we all know that skills and knowledge are the driving forces of economic growth and social development of any country. They have become even more important given the increasing pace of globalization and technological changes, which provide both challenges that is taking place in the world. Now, countries with higher and better levels of skills adjust more efficiently to the challenges and opportunities of globalization. And as we know that India moves progressively towards becoming a knowledge economy, it becomes increasingly important that we at Electronic Sector Skill Council of India focus on advancement of skills, and these skills have to be relevant to the emerging economic environment. If I talk about few years back in the old economy, skill development largely meant development of shop floor or manual skills. Even in this area, there are major deficiencies still we have in our workforce, which definitely need to be rectified. Whereas in knowledge economy, the skill sets can range from professional, conceptual, managerial, operational behavior to even interpersonal skills and inter-domain skills also. In the current times, as science progresses towards a better understanding of the minuscule, that is genes, nanoparticles, bits and bytes, and neurons, knowledge domains and skill domains also multiply and become more and more complex. And to cope up with the level of complexity, ESACI has given a very high priority these days to industry-led skilling, which is aimed at meeting the challenges of the skill development. Now, these industry linkage schemes, what we are planning, will definitely provide a demand-driven industry-relevant training opportunities. At ESACI, we are working very closely with the industries with an aim to bridge the skill gap and provide demand-based skill manpower to industries, which would in turn definitely add a lot of new jobs also. I would also like to thank Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Government of India for their schemes in order to position India as a global hub for ESDM. Schemes like Production Linked Incentive Schemes, PLI, Scheme for Promotion of Manufacturing of Electric Components, and now even Indian Semiconductor Mission, and Modified Electronic Manufacture Cluster Scheme, that is EMC 2.0. Under the Make in India initiative, there is a tremendous growth potential in the electronic design and manufacturing sector, and definitely communication and broadcasting is a major sector in this. This will lead to huge opportunities in the country, and the industry linkage initiatives of ESACI would work to meet the needs for the skilled manpower in the ESDM sector. We need to build on what we have achieved in skilling in last 7 years. The endeavor under Skill India need to be integrated with education, ensuring students can easily access the skill ecosystem. Stronger employment and definitely entrepreneurship outcomes need to be a byproduct of our skill initiatives, synergizing with the dynamic demands of the rapidly changing industries, local as well as global. We should be able to boost the skill development framework with the launch of our hybrid and blended mode of learning. That is what we are planning to launch next month. And this initiative will lead to the establishment of a credible, trustworthy, and reliable training, testing, and certification edifice linked to global standards and responsive to the needs of the ultimate consumers of the skill. Now, without taking much time, definitely I would like to thank Mr. Gururaj, Managing Director, Optimus Electronics Limited, Mr. R.V. Bala Subramaniam Iyer, Vice President, Reliance Jio Infocom Limited, and Mr. Sudhanshu Ojha, AVP Government Affairs and CSR Head, D-Link, for accepting the invite for this webinar and sharing their thoughts with our stakeholders in the next session. I would also like to thank our industry partners, training and assessment partners, my dear colleagues, friends, and students who have joined this webinar for their continuous support in all our endeavors. So let's pledge to make India the skill capital of the world. And with this note, I would like to end here. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that wonderful keynote address and for giving a very motivating address regarding the growth in the sector. Now, it's my pleasure to move on to the discussion on the skilled manpower in communication and broadcasting subsector. We have a panel of very eminent speakers today with us who would speak on the importance, challenges, and expectations of the industry. So I would request Mr. A. Gururaj, Managing Director, Optimus Electronics Limited, to throw light on the subject. Mr. Gururaj is for a brief introduction. Is a very well-known industry stalwart. He is currently the Managing Director of Optimus Electronics Limited. He is presently an advisor to many state governments also to promote the ESDM industry in India and serves on the advisory board of many leading ESDM industry. He was the Managing Director of Bitstrong India between 2016 and 2019, where he was responsible for running an existing factory and setting up a large greenfield for the manufacture of Apple iPhones in Bangalore. He has been the Managing Director of leading multinational manufacturing and other companies, a very well-known name in the industry. And apart from his the professional credentials he shares, he is a great philanthropist, and the whole industry has a great trust of respect for his social work and what he has done for the society. Without going further, just over to Mr. A. Gururaj to throw light on the subject, please. Please, your comments, sir.
Thank you, Salimji. You've been very kind. I don't know if I deserve all those accolades, but you've been very kind. On a lighter note, I say that when people give a long introduction about you, it just shows how old you are, right? So, so anyway, so thank you very much for the introduction. I just want to share with with everyone here is that I had the honor of being the MD of probably the company for Flextronics, which made one of the first phones, mobile phones in India. That was, by the way, ISG for Reliance. It was a Motorola phone for Reliance CDMA. And then I was also MD of the company that manufactured the highest end phone, which was the iPhone. So, I've been part of this journey of manufacturing part of, the ESDM system. So I think we have come a very, very long way. And I think there is always, people can always say we could have done better. Why, we are still, how do we compete with Vietnam, etc., etc. But in my opinion, we have made massive strides. Given all the limitations and and the whatever we may have, but we have made massive strides. Just to give you, I know somebody else may talk about it, but we say that, for example, the Indian electronics market has been a major buzzword, right? Is going to be about $400 billion by 2025. That's been the buzzword that has been used. And in the context of manufacturing, it has been said that it will be about $100 billion by 2025. Now, we say that, we are 2.7% of the GDP today, and likely to grow to, higher, in the coming years. I also understand, from various reports that, we have an employment, the employment figure is roughly about 13 million direct plus indirect as of now, according to some reports. And the very interesting thing is India exported handsets, worth rupees 4,600 crores in the first quarter of 2021, which is a 250% growth compared in spite of COVID in 1 year. And the other interesting statistics is there is a sharp decline in imports of mobiles. And I'm just taking mobile as one example, right? And for example, our consumption of laptops and all electronics, telecom, products have grown substantially, as we know. So, just to throw light, the Optimus Electronics, where I work right now, is a joint venture between Wistron, which is the iPhone manufacturer as it is known, and Optimus, an Indian company. And our role is to create Indian champions. Many of you may know that in the Independence Day speech of 2021, the Honorable Prime Minister had mentioned electronics as a specific sector. That was the only sector he touched, and said that this is a high priority sector for the country. And I think for those of you who may or may not be familiar, for many of the senior people, a little bit familiar, but this is because, the good old buzz, slogan has been that it is because our electronic imports will exceed the import of oil bills, crude oil bill that, we get from across the world. So, natural resource like oil is something that we cannot produce overnight in this country, but, products like electronics, why should we be spending, so much money on importing from somewhere else? And that is changing, in my opinion, very, very quickly. Now, I want to share something here that is, I always say this example to somebody is, how are things been growing? About 3 years back, this about 2.5 years back, 3 years back, when I was MD of Wistron, in front of the Chief Minister of Karnataka, he had said that, I had made a statement that, we will, the CM asked me, and I said, Wistron in Bangalore will employ 10,000 people in 3 years. And next day, it hit the headlines in some of the newspapers, and I was severely criticized for saying that, you have exaggerated like nobody's business. And, now I was wrong. Today, it is not 10,000, it is 13,000, right? And just to give you an example, of, one company, right? The expected employment by end of this year could touch about 25,000, right? So why I'm saying all this is that, in the context of skill development, there there is such massive growth happening, and I think the potential for skill development is so huge. I don't say potential, I would say need for skill development is is massive. Now here, particularly because the CEO madam is here and I am from the industry, one submission that I would like to make to madam, and I have been saying this to various sector skill council, but particularly to electronic sector skill council, madam, there is the big boys like Wistron, Foxconn, ye jo bade companies, and they can always train their people, and when you hire in thousands, and particularly companies like Wistron and so on hire only girls for mobile manufacturing, for example. It has, in Optimus Wistron, we are in multiple spaces, mobile phones, laptops, multiple segments. We are finding it difficult to get people with the right skill sets, in spite of all the effort that has been made by Modi ji, by ESSC, sector skill councils. There is still a gap between what the industry needs and and what some of the products out. So I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying that I think I saw that this there was, as I understand, it says strengthening industry skill linkage in electronic system design and industry skill linkage, right? We need more industry skill linkage between the industry and somebody like ESSC, in my opinion. I don't know if madam may know, I was earlier part of TSSC, and I've held some role in TSSC for 2 years. So I'm very familiar with this space, and many job roles that were created were also created in in close consultation with the industry and so on. But my humble submission to ESSC and everybody is to have further aggressive, closer interaction with the industry, so that the products that come out are much, a factory like say an Apple factory, we have no time to train people. At our Optimus Electronics, we don't have time to train people. So the moment we bring them on, they have to be productive. So I think there's a small gap even now in that. And I think this industry linkage that this webinar has talked about makes it very, very crucial. Any role that I can play in improving these linkages, given that employment figures are going to be massive, in the coming years. I can't talk more than what I've talked in terms of, many times I've been accused of giving out too much information. So a little more cautious after those. But I see that, thousands and even maybe lakhs of jobs will have to be, people will have to be employed in the ESDM sector. So I have always said this to some of the ex-CEOs of ESSC and so on, whom I know, that the most critical aspect of India's growth, in my opinion, the Prime Minister has said that electronics is the most critical segment for India. And in my opinion, in that most critical segment, the most critical need is the people training. Because without you, like we always say that, without people, you can't do anything. You can get machines, you can get everything, you can get money from everywhere. But getting people overnight is impossible, right? So I think those are my initial comments. I think very close and webinars like this do help, to create a closer linkage between the industry and say ESSC. And but ESSC particularly is extremely critical, in my opinion, to the future growth of the ESDM industry in India in general. So those are my opening comments, and we can always come back if there are any, if there's any further discussion. But Salimji, I will end for now and come back, as we see necessary.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for those very encouraging words, and also, for highlighting the potential of the sector. I'm sure with a country where the electronic manufacturing is growing, and with the kind of the 13 million requirements of manpower which you have mentioned, sir, I'm sure it's very encouraging for our council. And we have to also show our readiness, regarding the to develop a very conducive environment and the ecosystem to ensure the industry gets skilled manpower and our youth, we rightfully leverage the demographic dividend of this great country. Thank you very much, sir. Those words were indeed encouraging and had great insights. Now it's my privilege to call Mr. R.B. Balasubramaniam Iyer, Vice President, Reliance Jio Infocom, to share his views on the importance, challenges, and expectations of skilled manpower in the communication broadcasting sector. A brief about Mr. Balasubramaniam. He has been associated with Reliance Industries Limited since 2001 and has been part of the successive launch teams, starting with Reliance Infocom, Retail, and Jio. He is currently engaged in promoting Jio as a leader in the education and design space. Prior to Reliance, he had successfully led business teams at Lexarpen, NIIT, Coca-Cola, Whirlpool, Amway, and HDFC Life. His career span of 36 years across industries earned him recognition for his solution-centric approach in field of sales and talent management. Apart from that, he has been a passive sports enthusiast, plays badminton occasionally. His hobbies include infotainment, reading, and spiritual tourism. He is a D.Lit from ITM University, an MBA from JNU, a PG diploma in marketing from Jamanlal Bajaj Institute, and a BSc from Mumbai University. He is married to Madam Mahalakshmi Iyer. I would now call upon Mr. Iyer to share his views. Over to you, sir.
What you could not achieve in the last 4 minutes of your speech, sir, you managed to achieve by just mentioning the name of my wife, because she happens to be sitting here and she heard, and that brought a smile on her face. That's the power of what you do.
Equally important, sir. It's our responsibility to mention that, so thank you.
So yes, thank you very much for your kind introductions. I must say that, sir, I am quite sensitive about the fact that we have a limitation on the time. So, let me take you back to just the way when we launched Jio. When it took us almost about 3 years of gestation period before we actually brought our product out into the field. And one of the things that we actually used to do is to wonder, where are we going to get the manpower from? One of the first things that even Gururaj sir talked about, Sudhanshu mentioned about it in the pre-event discussions that we had, is where are we going to get these technicians who are going to come and actually do the home connect jobs, because nobody trains them. So I do remember very distinctly, of course, at that time, ma'am, I had not approached you or the Electronic Sector Council. We had actually gone to the Telecom Sector Skills Council. And we went to them and we told them that, listen, there are these job roles that are waiting to be created. We need these kind of people. And since we belong to them in that sense, we went to them, we created the QPs, and they said, okay, fine, we will get this kind of content rate. And obviously, as it was happening then, we are talking about 2005 and not 2005, 2010, 11. And then they passed it on to all their training partners and so on and so forth. Now, that was one. I mean, we helped them to create using whatever knowledge that we managed to get in terms of creating a QP, certification, content, all of that stuff. Like typically, most of these partnerships between, corporates like us happens. But then what also happened is that our company realized that process was not necessarily going to yield manpower for us. So we went to a different route, and we actually went and reached out to all the academic, universities across the country. We went to the Ministry of Education. We reached out to the colleges and universities, and most of them came back to us saying that, "Arey, आपके लिए कोई course यदि हमें चलाना होगा, तो you need to get it AICTE certified." All the standard archaic laws that still continue to exist. And then we hit upon the very simple idea. We said that, okay, let's do what we are good at. We reached out to the government and we said, we want to give free connectivity to colleges. धड़ाम करके सारे दरवाजे खुल गए. And immediately most of the colleges started saying, okay, then please do come to us. We will sign up an MOU. And what are the, let's say, the reason why we were doing this? Because we want to hire manpower. I mean, we made nothing. we did not tell a lie. We actually told them the same stuff, the challenge that we have, which we are explaining to you. We told them we are going to need this kind of manpower. We had the job roles in front of us. We shared that with the principals and the vice chancellors. And we said, we need to hire these kind of people. We said that in order to be able to hire these people, we are willing to set up laboratories in some of the colleges or the universities in a hub and spoke model. We will pass on all the training content also to you so that you can train, you can certify, and then please, we will be very happy to hire them. Because we were going to be setting up 1,000 of these geo centers across the country. And we needed to have these boys and girls hired in that geography. So where am I going to get these home connect technician, let's say in Azamgarh, where there is nobody training them at all? And we are going to be bringing fiber to the home, and we are making that announcement in a matter of few months' time. We needed people. So that was a challenge that we faced. As of today, ma'am, we are very happy to announce to you that while we went all the way to the extent of connecting colleges and universities, giving all the students in the campuses, including professors, free Wi-Fi at a day and age where it was an unheard of thing. And obviously, in the entire capital cost of laying the fiber, other than giving permission, colleges and universities had nothing else to do. They had just had to give us permission. We would sign the MOUs with them so that our hardware is protected. We would lay the electronics, access points, give Wi-Fi to the students for free. All of that was happening. Even the Panwala sitting outside the walls of these universities were very happy because they were also getting the connectivity. But having said all of this, we did all of this, but yet it did not yield the manpower. One, obviously we learned very sadly later, is that these students who are in these colleges and universities were not the people who were willing to take up these jobs. These were not the people who were willing to take up what is called as a skill sector or an NSDC kind of a job. They are the kind of people who would prefer to be the supervisor or a manager to some of these young boys and girls who would actually go out there and do it. So we had to we had done the laying of the fiber, etc., to so many of these colleges. So today our fiber continues to exist in these 12,000+ colleges across the country. That's a huge lot of colleges connected in the country. I mean, yet we haven't been able to hire manpower from any of them. One, because we have not yet made it aspirational for any of these college children to be able to take up a skill sector kind of a job role. It is all still continues to be seen as a white collar versus a blue collar kind of a job role, on account of which anybody who's entered these colleges, they said that no, we don't want our children to actually go out there. We went to the next level also, by the way. We went to Ministry of Skill Development and entrepreneurship. We reached out to them and we said, okay, fine. Anyway, we've set up these labs. Can we actually use some of these skill sector institutes to use these labs in the evening hours after you've shut down your regular college, or even for that matter at night, and ask them to pay for the electricity, or the security fellow who's going to be coming there, usko khana khila do, jo bhi hai. We tried all models, but yes, the matter is that we've not been able to succeed. And eventually we've said that, okay, we will hire a few people, we will train them at our own locations. And eventually we've now started doing training on the job, because these boys who are coming in to learn the job, they come in on a mentored basis, they learn the task while doing the job. And we've gone back to the old fashioned method. So this is one case study that we wanted to share with you. The second case study I want to share with you, which is yet going to happen right now, because we are talking about the broadcasting world that we are in. Geo, in addition to providing connectivity, it also provides you with what is called as your content platforms. One of the content platforms on which India is very high on the education sector happens to be the Geo television platform. Geo TV is available because we have changed habits. Like Sudhanshu, we were discussing, we've changed habits in terms of phone calls. Today, people don't think about having to make a phone call. Yes, it is true that we managed to make phone calls free in a country like India, where you had to actually pay at least 2 rupees to make a local call. Right from 2015 onwards or 16 onwards, today India is completely free from having to pay for local phone calls. Why local? Even STD phone calls. That term STD no longer terminates into anything to do with telecommunication. Right? I don't think many people associate that with the launch of Jio, but it's okay. But having said this, we now wanted to get into a situation where we wanted to also change the television viewing habits. Gone are the days where people would actually go to one house in one building, or where everybody is going there to watch a movie or a Mahabharat series. We've all grown up in that era. We've seen what it used to be. I mean, even you could not enforce that kind of a Bharat Bandh on a Sunday afternoon when one of those Ramanand Sagars were playing on television, right? We've seen that day. Today, we have come to a situation that there are 4 people sitting in a living room. Gururaj sir, we talked about a WhatsApp where you have to talk to your wife using a WhatsApp in a living room. Now I can tell you that there are 5 of us sitting with each of us having a device, having to watch our own private content rather than watching a single television. Why? Because everybody has got content to watch on their respective device. And that one of them happens to be Jio Television. Jio TV has now managed to bring in 900 television channels on your pocket. You can walk around and watch whatever you want to. What's more, it also gives you the opportunity of catch-up TV, which means you can watch the television channel, you can watch your favorite program whenever you want to, and it will start playing at that time without doing any recording. Now this, we wanted to give you the brief so that you understand. We are doing the same thing for education. Last 2 years during the pandemic, we have successfully managed to make sure that not only of NCRT, but all of Swayamprabha, all of the NIOS, IGNOU, and a lot of educational contents from private players. We have more than 90 television channels of educational content playing on Jio TV with a huge viewership. And just as early as the 21st, in fact, I don't know whether many of you may have noticed during the speech of the budget that Mrs. Sitaraman announced, she made a specific mention of this by saying that when the Prime Minister had launched what is called as the Prime Minister e-Vidya television channels, PM e-Vidya channels, one class, one channel, that has now been mandated. Before the end of July, the 12 channels are going to become 200 channels. But if you go and ask them, in fact, I was at the Ministry for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship office just immediately after these announcements were made. But there is no mention of any channel for skill development. We have been reaching out to NSDC multiple times. I don't think they are prepared with, they keep blaming each of the Sector Skills Council by saying they are not ready with content. I reach out to you, ma'am, and I would like to place on record openly here, saying that if you are ready with content which you are ready to broadcast, Jio will be very happy to carry you not only on a television channel, but also on various other digital platforms to make sure that children across the country will be able to actually watch your contents and actually make up their minds, both in terms of a counseling of whether this is the career I want to take. And if so, understand the kind of content, see the kind of training I want to do, and then sign up for the courses, get yourself certified. I see some children over here already sending out comments saying that I want to learn soldering. And there is somebody else who's saying, yeah, I'm running a soldering institute. But that while we are talking right now, there is somebody who's already asking these kind of questions. But is that child who's asking for soldering, does he really understand what does he want it for? Are we there live to be able to help him with this kind of information nationally today? Because the digital space that we are in, anybody and everybody can talk to each other. And if so, are we ready to talk to the next generation of people who are going to be working for us and for our country? We are happy to listen to you, happy to serve you anytime you wish. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iyer, for those lovely words. And I think the idea which you have given here is indeed a path breaking, wherein for us also as a council, Am I audible?
No, sir. I think Dr. Gaur was saying something.
Yeah, I was saying that, Mr. Iyer, before you proposed for this digital channel, I've already written the note that before, I mean, once you'll completing your speech, I'll be asking you that we'll be coming very soon to you with this digital channel proposal.
Most certainly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I missed out. And that's indeed a path-breaking idea to disseminate all information and the true skill capabilities across the digital channels. Indeed, a very it's a fantastic idea, and definitely be very, very fruitful to take skill right to the rural youth through technology. Thank you very much, sir.
Most welcome.
Now, next on my panel, I have Mr. Sudhanshu Ojha, Associate Vice President, Government Affairs, CSR and Head, Dealing Academy. He has been a very old friend of our council, and we've had we share a fantastic relationship with him. He's a dynamic sales professional with over 25 years of total work experience of profit center operations, sales marketing, business development, enterprise, banking, SMB, government, telecom, channels and alliance segments, infrastructure planning and management, IT projects, and team management. I would like to call upon Mr. Sudhanshu Ojha to please enlighten us with his words. Mr. Ojha, please.
Thank you, Samim, sir. I believe that you had given me opportunity because you had two eminent speakers, Mr. Guru Raj and Iyer sir. So you had given me opportunity to do the presentation on the slides, sir. So thank you for this. But before coming into this, I would like to, at the outset, we would like to thank Dr. Abhilasha Gaur, CEO, Electronic Sector Council, and Sri Salim Ahmed ji for giving this particular opportunity to speaking on behalf of making a national building program. And we thank our co-panelists, Shri Guraj ji and Shri Iyer sir, to give us an opportunity to discuss the thoughts which has been the skilled manpower in the communication, broadcasting subsectors. And there is a three topic which we need to touch upon. What is the importance of this? What is the challenges and what are the expectations? And where Dealing as an organization is going to play a role into addressing this particular engagement. So here, before looking into that, because I believe that 3-4 months before, Dr. Abhilasha Gaur has set up one program, what we had it, where we had set up that what is the next 3 years program which we are going to have it for the electronic sector councils. And it was a very nice move where we have set a certain task and which we had given the directions to the industry to work on, where we are heading towards. And as Salim Ahmed sir, he said that, when we are looking into that, this particular qualification pack, which is a Q4 and which has been addressed for the 10th. So before going into this, because, when we look into this, what are the target audience and what are the target opportunities which has been there and where industry is going to align their thought and activities so that the right job opportunities can be created where all the ecosystems can, play a right role. So that's the reason we need to touch upon whether we wanted to go and create a workforce which has been taking care of the applications where the engineers are required and where the masters tech engineers are required, or whether we are looking into the bottom of the pyramid where you wanted to play a role. Could you hear me,
I would just, your voice is slightly subdued. If you could bring the microphone more closer to your mouth. The voice is, coming a little subdued.
Is it not coming clear?
Yeah, just bring it down. Yes, now it's better. Thank you. Sorry. Please
yeah,
tell me.
So, I hope that, whatever, because I was talking about that, what is the target opportunity and what is the target market and what is the target task, which we as a ecosystem, which we are having it, where the sector councils, whether it's electronic sector council, whether it's a telecom sector council, or whether it's a NSDC, and where the industry like say D-Link, Reliance, Jio, all these telco players, those who are playing a role. And in front of us, we have a target audience. Who are the target audience? Whom we are looking at? Who are the people to whom we wanted to make them employable, whether we wanted to make them employable or whether they are looking out for some sort of, self-reliant kind of stuff where they can take a business and they can run a, like say how the cable operators are running and how the technical, just now, Iyer sir was talking about that somebody, was students ask a question that I want to learn a, soldering, and somebody said that I have a soldering, so that kind of a approach, we need to check it out and we need to change it so that the ideal mindset should be created that whom we are addressing to. If we are talking about a Q4 kind of qualification pack, who are the people? where as the industry and where as the sector councils we are heading towards. Because if we go and look for the Q4 kind of a pack and we go to the engineering colleges, it doesn't make any sense to them, because we have to restrict ourselves, our engagement, our activities, our alignment with the ITI companies, those who are spread across the country. So I'm sure that if we align our thoughts and activities focusing on what we are supposed to do and what we are doing, I'm sure the task will become much more easier. But before going into this, what are the importance and challenges and expectation, I wanted to set it, a trend that how the India is playing a role so far, the telecommunications market is concerned, and where the growth which has been happening. Now, this slide which has been there in front of you, we have captured the data of a 30th April 2021, where it talks about 1.20 billion people, those who are having a phone, because having a phone is a big, liberty, and everybody should enjoy it. But friends, if you look into that, these are the statistical figure which I have captured it in the 19, 20, and 21. You can see that there are the three things which has been happening. How many number of subscriber which has been coming in. When you look at the subscriber, whether they are in the urban part or whether they are the rural part. So when you can see that within the year on year, you can see that the rural part has been grown beyond what it was in 2019. So we see that there is a growth which has been there. And to do so, when you talk about the basic telephony, you need a people who's earlier in 10 years and 15 years before, if you look at that, you need a lineman, and they don't know anything, no literacy which has been required, only they should know how to speak, and somebody will give them a training, and they will give a job that what they are supposed to do, and they will go and deploy it. And these kind of things which has been changed when you look at the telecommunication and communications market, especially for the ITI and a diploma holder. Now, where you can see that when you wanted to deploy a phone, and when you wanted to deploy a DTH, when you wanted to deploy a broadcasting application, when you wanted to deploy a cable connectivity, there are so many things which has been there. You need a passive infrastructure as well. You need a copper, you need a fiber, you need how to solder it, you need to how to cut the fiber, because the fiber splicing machine, 15 years before it was a 3 lakhs rupees, but today one splicing was 3 lakh rupees, and today the situation is that 30 rupees per splicing the people are charging it. So what does it mean? That the market demands are there, and if we align the courseware, and if we enforce our courseware as a practical project based learning, which Dr. Avilasha Gaur, which she has pointed out, and in the last meeting, that we need to have a on job training program for the 1 year. And that's a great move, where we see that dealing as an industry which is going to the various campuses, whether it's a bottom of line, whether it's ITI, whether it's a diploma, and whether it's engineering. We can play a vital role along with the partner like Geo, to make the campuses across the country, so that the people and the teaching community, they should aware that how to design, how to maintain, and how to troubleshoot the network. And I believe that's the essence of this particular program, because that's a missing link. मैम, आप किसी भी स्कूल कॉलेजेस में चले जाओ, किसी भी बच्चे को बोल दो, यार दिस इज ए सर्टिफिकेट व्हिच आई वांटेड टू गिव इट टू यू, he and she is not concerned about certificate. They don't want to get that certificate by learning and putting the time as such, that what are the process, what are the activities which has been there. They will say that, is this certificate which is a free, or is this certificate whatever the cost? If the guy is getting a free of cost, they don't have any value of that certifications. And if they are putting some value, like say $100, $200, like say we are a global company, so our certifications comes with a certain value to it. So suppose if they are paying some money, they will say, yaar main aapko paise deta hu, mere ko certification de do, because if I'm going for the interview where I need this certificate to show it to the people so that the job will be granted. Those are the days which was 10 years before. Today's the world, whether you are a toppers, whether you are a ATKT guy, or whether you are any CGPA, nobody is going to give you a job unless until you don't have that kind of a skill, attitude, and domain expertise. So that's the reason we see that we need to touch upon on these particular topics very rightly. And that's the reason I said that I will set a context that what dealing as an industry would like to do with electronics sector councils and the partner like AGO to go to the ITI and diploma colleges and engineering colleges. Make not the students, but the first of all, the teachers should be responsible for that, because the today teaching community, has been you go into see for the past 2 years, we have been into that corona period, where most of things which was been working on the online, thanks to Geo, which has given a platform to the various people, those who are into the school and colleges, they have carried forward their term, they have maintained their term, they have given the examination, they got the certificate, and they are carry forward whatever the activities which they could have done it to do the school and colleges
online mode, they are doing with the help of the telecom player. But there is a problem, like say, because if you see most of the guys, they don't has been given on the Google, and they will try to give you the answer, and they will try to copy that answer, irrespective whatever the way proctor way you put it in the examinations. So these are the outcomes of the educations which has been coming up, which is not so relevant. So we don't want it to play a blame game, but we wanted to make a teaching community which is a core of this particular program. They should play a role on that. Now coming back to this, the telecommunications field, you see that 90s 91 1G 2G 3G 4G, and today thanks to a geo that already they have launched a 5G, which is probably Mr. Ayer can highlight much more on that. But you see that the whatever the application which has been coming in, and how the applications has been creating an impact on the industry, because that is a more important point for all of us to understand it. When you look into the 5G kind of stuff, as Bala sir was talking about, today they have a broadcasting unit, and they need a people, those who are creating a creating a content which can go into that. Either it could be the film industry, or it could be the production houses, or it could be the OTT platform. You see that where the business has been growing, and when the business has been growing, and where the maximum, the broadcasting players are coming to the picture, I'm sure that the such type of a techie guy will play a major role to deliver the best as per the industry expectation. So I change the slide, sir, or do you want me to take a control on it? You see the growth of this, a mobile phone which has been there. Just now we were talking about, I have captured the data of a 2015 to 2025. Probably if you look into that, we will have almost 55% growth year on year. You can see that, which has been showing so far as the mobile phone and internet has been concerned. And when you see that mobile phone and internet, the core content of that particular SMAC environment, which you say that the social mobility analytics and the cloud computing, this has been inbuilt application which has been coming up. So when we are talking about the growth of the mobile phone and the internet, it is not talking about only for the the Q4 kind of activities and the ITI kind of activities. It's creating a job opportunities on the SMAC platform. And when you say the SMAC platform, where the social, like say LinkedIn, Facebook, all these, Instagram, they have a huge kind of a job opportunities which has been there, and they wanted to have a skilled people. They have a analytics. You can see that all the big and smart large multinationals company, or whether it's a government organizations or the private organizations, everybody is asking for the analytics people. You see the cloud computing, when if you look back where industry was, and today the cloud computing has been grown, huge potentials which has been there. So we could see that mobile phone and internet has given a lots of job opportunities, not only to the ITI, not only the diploma holder, but it has been given a job opportunities for all the techies, those who are studying either a normal degree or maybe the B schools or maybe the higher studies. You see that this is the next slide which has been there. It is talk about that currently we look into that almost we have a 600 million users, those who are using the internet at this level, and this has been growing. As I said, the internet entire thing, whether it's a broadcasting, whether it's a hardware, whether it's a software, whether it's a network, whether it's a cable TV, whether it's a DTH, whether it's a digital channel, set-up box, all these various step technology will play a different kind of role. But how to configure, how to design, how to maintain that cable box, how to maintain that DTH, where always you need a such type of skilled people, where industry like us can play a major role. So you said that this is what the growth of a Facebook. As I said, that you look into that, the job opportunities by Facebook, they are paying $1 million and $1 million to the IITians. So now they are not going to give to the masses. Our concern is, we are not concerned about the people, those who are looking for a job into IITs and B schools and top engineering colleges. We are concerned about the bottom of pyramid, where the maximum people are studying into the private colleges, studying into ITI and diploma. And you see that I wanted to share one particular activities. This has been very much limelight into the social arena, where you can see that one gentleman, he was talking about, dear 90% private colleges of India. I'm talking about private colleges of India. There are 10,000 engineering colleges which has been approved by AICTE spread across the country. You have 50 central universities across the country. You have 432 state university spread across the country. You have various deemed and private universities spread across the country. But I wanted to highlight a topic which has been concerned about the engineering colleges, because our subjects is pertaining to that field. What they're saying, you take an entire family life saving and tuition fee for one kid and then reach some theoretical rubbish to the kid. Your campus building looks like a 5-star hotel from the outside, but the kids you teach inside is unemployable. And it's a very, very touchy point. As just now, Guda sir also said that, and even Ayas sir also said that. You are studying into the large campuses, but you are still unemployable, because what industry is expecting, what sort of the skill set you have it, that's a gap which has been there. Then you call someone mass recruiter to your campus and gives them a 20,000 salary to your kids, and you can print 100% placement on your website. Please focus on the teaching job ready skills instead of looting families, I beg you. So that's a very relevant message, where we as a industry, we should go and touch upon not only to the parents and the students, but all the people, those who are stakeholders for this particular education platform, to make them responsible to become a more employable, because it's not an easy job. Students want everything free of cost. Parents wants their expectation that my son and daughter should fly high without doing any activities. There is a social prayer. There is a social pressures on the people, students, and the teachers and the communities, that I need to scale up from the next person who's staying next to me. And that's the reason they are becoming more elusive into the practical. Friends, when you look at that, today world, when we talk about the opportunity, data is the new oil. You can see that the first point, where you can see that by 2021, India will export a software which will be more than what oil has been exported by Saudi Arabia. That's a big thing, what we are talking about. And you see the war which has been happening across the world. So the software is the Indian tool where the people are going to play a role. Now, the topic which we have chosen on the manpower of the communication and the broadcasting sector, but the software also plays a role, because the communication, to make it more effective, if the software tool has been not there, then you are not going to play a role. So there is a huge opportunity in front of us. You can see that the software services export estimated almost 133.7 billion by 2021. You can see that the employment in the software industry will grow by 10 million within next 10 years. IT industry will contribute 10% of a GDP by 2025, and India will rank as one of the first company, in the cloud experts, as I spoke just now on the smart platform. Please go to the next. You see that how that government of India is playing a role. We have gram panchayat, there are 250,000 gram panchayat which has been there, and there are 638,619 villages will remain uncovered even if the gram panchayat are connected on the BharatNet broadband. So you can see that I have captured the current statistics, where the of people, whether he is of the village, whether he is a tier 1 city, whether he is a tier 2 city, or whether he is studying in or living in the metro cities, everywhere the opportunity has been there. And these are the statistical figure where the government of India is deploying a fiber, the government of India is deploying a BharatNet connectivity. And you can see that when they have doing this connectivity, you need a skilled manpower to do so. So we have within India itself, for our own government job, we have so much requirement where we can address it together by making a people more skillful so that they become more employable. Next, please. Next, please. This is Iswe. Now, this is the topic which because it connects to us, because D-Link has been known as the modem and the broadband company. You go to even the gram panchayat level and you speak to any farmer and the mukhia and anybody and sarpanch. She they need two things. One is a गांव में क्या अगर WhatsApp आ गया और WhatsApp आने के लिए उसको क्या चाहिए तो modem चाहिए. So we are a company which is with the global company with the local touch. Wherever you go, you will find the D-Link modem is already there. And behind us, there is a eco partner, which is a service provider like say Jio. And there are other people, those who are already there, those who are using our particular products across the country. So friends, you can see that a government of India is inviting almost 20,000 crore rupees, opportunity to create a infrastructure, which is a BBNL infrastructure. When you are doing such opportunities, you need a skilled manpower. So and everything which is statistically which has been in front of you. So go geared up and try to wake up out of your hangover and see, try to prove yourself that yes, is my country which is going to become a self-reliant. I wanted to learn something on my own, and where I can do whatever the best could be possible to make my country a self-reliable country. So that is only students and the teachers committee, they have to take a call based on this. Next please. Next please. This is where India is a global we are not going to be only in the software, but we are the you can see that the industry which will be 300 to 350 billion by NASCOM reports when you talk about. Now here when I was talking about it in the 2015, you can see that there is a traditional applications of the business was there, and the digital application was the 10%. But when you come to 2020, you can see that 70 to 70% of the business which is the traditional, which is getting converted into the digital penetrations point. So there is a conversion of the traditional which is business which has been happening into the digital mode, and you can see that the current statistics which is a 30% of the total market value. By 2025 it will be a 50-50 and maybe even more than 50. So I'm sure that a application like a cloud services, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, customer experience, and these are the courseware where D-Link is already running with the various campuses across the country, partnering sector councils. And we wish that we can do the same kind of a programs with the ITI, or same kind of programs with the minimizing the courseware and the contents in the lighter mode with the diploma colleges. Please go to the next, sir. This is the future of work. So we spoke about the world is looking for the future of work, and everybody is committed to make a country a self-reliant. And you can see that a statistical figure which has been there in front of you when you go to the campus, whether it's a ITI, whether it's a diploma, or whether it's a degree colleges. We don't say that we are going to give you a job. We run a program. Are you skilled enough to get a job? Because today's industries are not like that, where I can say that, oh, you are my nephew and you are my brother and this is a job for you. You have to earn a job by showing your credibility, by showing your skill set, while showing your attitude. And we do one particular assessment, which is a 1-hour program, which AICT is already partnered to. So D-Link is running this particular programs with the various campus. I'm sure that wherever we go, because Jio has almost 12,000 campuses across the country, which is already equipped with the free Wi-Fi and everything. I'm sure that this particular measurement tool, partnering Jio, will make a teaching communities as well as the students in that particular area, whether are they skilled enough to get a job either in Jio or D-Link or iPhone or any XYZ company of Flextronics and all. Go to the next, please. Go to the next please, because we have discussed it. This was a part of the expectation. This is the new challenges what we just now, madam has just now spoken about, that there are lots of things which has been there. Government is very much conducive without making a Make in India program and EMC 2.0 and PLI, which has been there. D-Link is also very keen to get into that, because we have been into the business where we see that when we are dealing into the government business, where the Make in India program is playing a very vital role. So our thought and our engagement, our intention is very clear. D-Link being a almost 3.5 decade old company, most trust reliable, is the first company in the India who has set a tone for how to convert ArcNet to Ethernet. So we feel very proud that whatever the challenges because we are a global company, and there are lots of things which has been there, whatever the opportunity which has been there, we are taking these challenges ahead, and we are trying to see that what we can do it in the Make in India. But that's a Make in India is a task for us. But before that, we can see that any students, those who wanted to get into the job markets, and their degree and the post graduations find they do not possess the technical skills required by the industries, and where we are D-Link as a D-Link Academy is playing a very major role. So we are trying to contribute Make in India in other way around by creating a self-skilled manpower, so that our contributions to the Indian country will be achieved into the desired manner. Go to the next, sir. This is the future of works. This is a very important, and one need to put a thought, whether it's an ecosystem, whether the students, and whether it's a teaching community. There is a business outcomes and there is a employees outcomes. When you look into that employees outcomes, the future of works, because as I have shown you in my previous slide, the work is going to be a digitally by 50-50 by 2025. All the works already we have experienced it in during the COVID time, because everything, and even if you're not in the office, your job has been done. So thanks to the IT and thanks to the telecom company who has given a extended support to deliver the job and deliver the task at the doorsteps. So when you look at that employees outcomes, it shows that what are the reforming culture you have and how you are managing a hybrid world. Hybrid world means the manual and the digital. And when you talk about that the business outcomes, rethinking of the workplace, we have to rethink that. Suppose if I'm going to take a guy who's a 10th pass and 12th pass, and if he has done an ITI, can he be skilled enough to get a job of the something which is on the software applications? So one has to work on that. So how it will be done? It will be only done with the help of a shifting talent and skills, because unless until a students and the teaching committee is not taking a task on their own, I'm sure that the 50-50 needs to move to 100%, and it will be only happen when we align industry and the ecosystem and the business outcomes route to create a future of works which will be reinvented. Go to the next, please. Go to the next, sir. This is a trend which has been there. This is the I wanted to touch upon here, like say, because when you look at the industry, last time also I have spoken on this. NASSCOM is talking about the industry is growing to be by 25 billion by 2025, and the same time there is another people, those who are Gartner, those who are coming in that 30% of the industry and the infrastructure which has been existing in this world, which of no use. It means either it cannot be a scale up. So there is a loss of task which has been there for the industry and the policymakers to decide that which way to go. And in between, there is a loss of technical innovation which has been happening, and you can see that the metaverse which will come in the picture. Now there is a thought which always people they deliberate and they discuss it कि digital आने से लोगों की नौकरी कम हो गई. This is a very a debatable topic. आप गांव में जाओ, शहर में जाओ, लोग बोलते हैं यार ये machine and machine learning and machine technology is killing the people, those who are doing the job with the hand. Now I'll give you an example, like say how the technology is playing and how the technology is creating a multiple opportunity. आप क्रिकेट के मैदान में जाते हो, पहले क्रिकेट अभी जब 10 साल पहले हम लोग खेलते थे तो 2 अंपायर हुआ करता था, एक लेफ्ट साइड में और एक स्क्वायर लेग में. नाउ आज के दिन में अगर if you visualize cricket में कितने लोग हैं, there is a one commentator, there is a one digital screener, there is a 3 umpires are there. If the guy is a run out, he is also getting it analyzed, and to create, so there is a software, there is applications, everything which has been there. So to deliver the job which was a manually earlier, now you see that the 20 people are serving the job. So it's a very unlawful to say that digital literacy is killing the job opportunities. So we have to be very much clear, and it's a metaverse is the world which is going to play a role where I don't want to touch upon whatever the things which has been there, but I'm sure that this slide in front of you where you can capture it, how to become a digital humans with the use of social media, where industry like us can play a major role to make you more concert social entertainment events. Go to the next, sir. We are, I just now touch upon with Dr. Avilasha Gaurji that in the last meeting आपने बताया था कि setting up a hub, international hub with the Dealing Global Center of Excellence, not only in India, but we are based in Taiwan. We are happy if your initiative has been there, we can collaborate and we can talk to the Taiwanese ministries and government ministry with the help of sector councils. We can, get this engagement move on. We can create an industry specialized 1-year project-based learning, which was the last discussion and guidelines which was given by yours. And you discussed that, 1-year job training model will be given for the final year. But final year, it could be of ITI also, final year of the diploma students also, and the final year of the engineering also. We are happy to do so. And to do so, if the teachers are not trained enough, then entire thing will go on. So entire thing pivots around the teaching community, and we wish that we should do a multiple, like say AICT is doing a lot of Atal faculty development program, and we are a part of it. I'm sure that if we collaborate with we extend our hand with Electronic Sector Council, faculty development program will become much more right tool to reach out to the down level, to the ITI as well as the diploma holders, so that they can learn what is the virtual reality, what is the cloud computing, what is IoT, and what is the AI and ML, so that whatever the task which is there in front of us, 50-50, making a digital industry, it will become much more relevant. Go to the next, sir. I think this is the last. As I said, and just now Ayers said that they have reached out to 12,000 campuses, and the lab has been established, that fiber has been already there. We are a company, we set up a LAN, WAN info with the various campuses. We are we have a center of excellence which has been established across the country, where we are teaching a switching, routing, wireless, security, surveillance, storage, passive, FTTH, GPON, and then there is a new, as I said, the cloud computing and a SMAC and a STEAM, which is a new terminology which has been come. So all the readiness which has been there dealing with the being a global company, and thanks to Jio that they are providing a campus Wi-Fi so that the mobility becomes much more easier. Now, today, we are giving one step ahead to the vice chancellor and the decision makers. We are telling them that we are a company which is equipped with the IP surveillance, and you need to see that how to monitor your campus, what's been happening, and that's called a ICCC, Integrated Control Command Room Center in your campus, so that vice chancellor Maharaj or whomsoever is the head of the institution, they can see what's been happening into the campus, and which is, you can see that lots of things, social, imbalance which took place into the various campuses, that can be minimized with the help of this. And we are making a campus, a digital campus, with the loss of ERP service provider, which can where, and the telco partners like Jio can play a very major role. And this screen which is in front of you, it is a very much element and task for all of us, whether it's a industry, whether it's a students, whether it's a teaching community, whether it's a policy maker, whether it's a NGOs, whether it's a talking about the future of works. This is the campus in front of you, and you are going to wear a specs which will be equipped with AR, virtual reality. Then only you can go and help your country to become a self-reliant and make your country 100% digital company with the digital contents, fulfilling the dream of country that yes, I'm a country who's exporting everything to the rest of the world. So this is all from my end, and thank you all for giving this opportunity to discuss it about the importance, challenges, and expectations what we have. I have set it across very rightly from dealing point of view. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oja, for that very exhaustive and nice presentation, giving us clarity and insights. And also, it just shows that how large the canvas is, both for opportunity for young boys and girls to come and work, and also the country is completely getting digitized and get opportunity it's bringing for the nation. Thank you very much for the eminent panelists. Now we have a question answer session, sir. And just a little
can I intervene for 1 minute? Just 1 minute.
Sure, please, sir.
So
Yeah,
I just want to announce that at the Wistron Optimus facility in Noida, which is going to do a lot of non-Apple products of Wistron in India, we are hiring very aggressively. So for the training providers are here, for SMT operators, for technicians, for testing people, please give my email address to whoever there is. My message to all the audience is, please send me mails if you have candidates.
Thank you very much, sir. I think one of my colleagues is already in touch, and sir, also we had request, from people coming in to learn about this opportunity. And if I could just turn it in Hindi, because there was a request if panelists could speak in Hindi, so I was not too sure. तो इसीलिए मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि जैसे अभी गुरुराज साहब ने बताया कि इनकी एक बहुत बड़ी एक फैसिलिटी नोएडा में है, और वहां पर जैसे उन्होंने पहले बताया था कि जो टेक्निकल लड़कियां होती हैं, खासतौर से हमारी बच्चियां होती हैं, उनके लिए वहां काफी अवसर प्रदान होते हैं। तो नोएडा में ऑप्टिमियस का एक फैक्ट्री आ रही है जहां पर काफी जो है लड़कियों की और कुछ लड़कों की भी रिक्वायरमेंट होगी। तो जैसे कि आपने मुझसे सवाल में पूछा, एक हमारे ITI संगरूर ने स्पेसिफिकली शायद हमसे पूछा है, तो उनके लिए खासतौर जवाब है। और लोग भी जो हमें यहाँ पर हमारे साथ जो जुड़े हुए हैं इस वेबिनार में, उनके लिए भी है कि नोएडा और उसके आसपास जितने भी इलाके हैं, वहाँ की बच्चियां वहाँ जा सकती हैं और नौकरियों के लिए वहाँ काफी अवसर ऑप्टिमिस्ट में है, जैसे हमारे गुरुराज साहब ने अभी बताया। Thank you very much, sir. And we'll definitely percolate down. And one of my colleagues is already in touch, and whatever is in our we'll definitely support, with the skilled manpower and all the required people. थैंक यू
Okay.
वेरी मच सर।
Thank
और
you.
किसी का कोई सवाल, एनी क्वेश्चंस, तो प्लीज आप पूछ सकते हैं। क्वेश्चन आंसर्स में है, जैसे so I've got some more questions in the question answer inbox. Okay, they're asking to be sent the requirements, on some email. Okay, मिस आशा, ठीक है, हम जो भी होगा हम आपका ईमेल जो है क्रिस्प इंडिया का नोट कर लेंगे, और आपको हम जरूर जो हमारे अफसर आते रहेंगे उनके बारे में आपको हम अवगत कराते रहेंगे। मिस आशा नायर उन्होंने बोला कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पीपल फ्रॉम ट्रेनिंग पार्टनर, बिल्कुल सर, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंडस्ट्री ट्रेनिंग पार्टनर से डायरेक्टली हायर करती है, और हमारे जो जॉब रोल हैं उनपे सर्टिफाइड जो होते हैं उनको वो थोड़ा सा प्रेफरेंस देती है, उनको वो ज्यादा जो है तरजीह देती है। तो बिल्कुल ये आशा नायर मैडम जो आपने पूछा है, तो ये आपके लिए जवाब है कि चाहे वो ट्रेनिंग पार्टनर्स हो, ITI हो, पॉलिटेक्निक्स हो, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस हो, उनके पास बहुत जो है एक मैन पावर की रिक्वायरमेंट रहती है, और ये लोग जो भी ट्रेंड और सक्षम जो मैन पावर होता है उनको ये हायर करते हैं। कोई और सवाल? एनी अदर क्वेश्चन आंसर? वन मोर क्वेश्चन आई गॉट इज सर, Mr. Gururaj, if you could just, is it possible for you to speak in Hindi, sir?
Of course, sir. I am from IIT Delhi.
Oh, wow, yes, absolutely. Yes. So there is a question that future of girls in telecom, and this, sir, अगर और also ये IAS आपसे है, और थोड़ा सा एक और क्वेश्चन है कि हाँ, दो प्रश्न सर ये पूछ रहे हैं। एक, जो ट्रेनीज हैं, क्या ऐसे पॉसिबल है कि वो इंडस्ट्री विजिट कर सकते हैं एक ग्रुप में, अगर वो लोग आपको स्पेशल?
तो मैं ये आंसर करता हूँ, ये दोनों क्वेश्चंस में आंसर करता हूँ। मैं लड़कियों को ये बताना चाहता हूँ, जो लड़कियों के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं, जो मोबाइल फोन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री है वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा लड़कियों को ही प्रिफर करते हैं। ये मेरे जैसे लोग लड़के बहुत खतरनाक होते हैं ये तो मतलब स्किल सेट लड़कियों का बहुत अच्छा होता है, उनको पेशेंस होता है, और तो इसलिए मोबाइल फोन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री लड़कियों को ही प्रिफर करती है। और मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये हमारी कंपनी की पॉलिसी है, और फॉर एग्जांपल बहुत से बड़े कंपनीज की पॉलिसी है कि रात को अगर उनको शिफ्ट में लगाना है तो उनको वो मतलब एज फार एज पॉसिबल अवॉइड करते हैं हम, मगर उनको जो सिक्योरिटी चाहिए, जो बस चाहिए, जो कैंटीन चाहिए, सब फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड होता है। तो लड़कियां जो हैं आगे से बढ़ के आए और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में आए। ऑलरेडी फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे फैक्ट्री में करीब 8,000 10,000 लड़कियां काम कर रही हैं ऑलरेडी, फॉर एग्जांपल एप्पल फैक्ट्री में। तो नोएडा में एरिया में जो है वो हमें ईमेल भेजें और हमारे HR वाले आपको कांटेक्ट करेंगे, मगर अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत हैं, इसमें कुछ डाउट नहीं है। और दूसरा क्वेश्चन क्या था सर?
तो दूसरा क्वेश्चन जो है वो उन्होंने पूछा कि जो टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री में कोई अवसर लड़कियों के लिए कहाँ, वैसे आपने दोनों आंसर कर दिए हैं कि बेसिकली पूछना चाह रहे थे कि लड़कियों के लिए भी टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री में अवसर होते हैं क्या, तो आपने मेरे ख्याल से
हाँ, टेलीकॉम, इसमें टेलीकॉम प्रोडक्ट्स भी हैं,
उत्तर दिया,
हर तरह के प्रोडक्ट्स
जी। हाँ, एक दूसरा वो था कि एक कोई जो इंस्टीट्यूट है वो पूछ रहे हैं कि अगर उनके पास बच्चियां हैं और अगर वो चाहें इंडस्ट्री विजिट करना, तो ऐसे पॉसिबल है क्या?
हाँ, तो अगर मेरा सोच है कि सलीम जी आप पहले उनसे इंटरेक्ट करिए और देन यू एंड मी कैन इंटरेक्ट, मुझे एक बैकग्राउंड दे दीजिए और विद प्रायर अपॉइंटमेंट हम उनको फैक्ट्री दिखाएंगे, और दैट वे उनको इंटरेस्ट भी बढ़ेगी। जब लोग देखते हैं कैसे प्रोडक्ट्स बन रहे हैं तो उनकी उत्तेजना भी बढ़ जाती है। तो वी कैन अरेंज, मगर थोड़ा एडवांस प्लानिंग करके करना पड़ेगा।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। वही सर, हम लोग जो एट इंस्टीट्यूट लेवल हम लोग उनसे एंगेज करके, और अगर उनका एक ग्रुप ऑफ गर्ल्स है 20 25 30 जो कि इंटरेस्टेड हैं, तो उनको लेके फिर हम आपसे
इंडस्ट्री विजिट
हम परमिशन लेके वहां
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
जी। आई थिंक ये बहुत अच्छा रहेगा उनके लिए कि फर्स्ट हैंड इंफॉर्मेशन मिले कि वहाँ वर्क एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है, काम कैसे होता है शॉप फ्लोर पे, क्योंकि बहुत लोगों को फैक्ट्रियां पता नहीं होता है।
और मैं एक और बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि
बहुत धन्यवाद।
मैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का आदमी हूँ, एक बात कहूंगा कि जब लोग प्रोडक्ट्स बनाते हैं शॉप फ्लोर पे, एक बहुत सेटिस्फैक्शन होता है रोज की, अरे मैंने आज 50 फोन बनाए, 500 फोन बनाए, 5,000 फोन बनाए, एक सेटिस्फैक्शन रहती है। और हमने देखा है वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में अच्छा लगता है लोगों को कि अरे, और लोग बाहर आके कहते हैं अरे मैंने ये फोन तो मैंने ये असेंबल किया उसमें। तो एक प्राइड भी होती है। और मैं एक और बात कहूंगा सर, जो अय्यर साहब ने बहुत अप्रोप्रिएट कहा, जो डॉक्टर गौर के लिए मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, द मिसिंग लिंक इन दिस, मिसिंग लिंक नहीं कहूंगा, इंप्रूवमेंट लिंक कहूंगा, कि ये जो सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल्स के रोल्स हैं, वी हैव टू मेक इट एस्पिरेशनल। तो मैं डॉक्टर गौर जी से मतलब उनके कमेंट्स चाहूंगा, कि रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि ये मोर एस्पिरेशनल कैसे बनाया जाए।
बिल्कुल, डेफिनेटली सर, आई लाइक टू आंसर बैक ऑल्सो। पहला चीज तो जैसे आपने बताया कि जो बड़ी कंपनीज हैं जैसे कि फॉक्सकॉन है या विस्ट्रॉन है, दे डोंट नीड मच ऑफ ट्रेनिंग। बट पिछले 4-5 महीने में जो मेरा इंटरेक्शन हुआ है इन कंपनीज से, उसमें मैंने देखा करीब 8 से 12% एट्रिशन रेट है। रीजन बीइंग के जो वर्कफोर्स आती है उसको सेकेंड या थर्ड डे पे शॉप फ्लोर के ऊपर में जो है वो भेज दिया जाता है। उसमें वी आर ऑल्सो कमिंग अप विद दिस थिंग दैट एटलीस्ट गिव दोस किड्स to us for at least week to 10 days time, and allow us to do a customized kind of a training for these people so that they'll be able to associate with the company. और उसको जो है वो एक ही बार ना करके बल्कि गैप के अंदर में, क्वार्टर या उसके अंदर में एटलीस्ट 2-3 दिन का ऐसा हम मॉड्यूल बना रहे हैं कि उसमें हम 2-3 दिन बाद उनसे बच्चों से जो है उसको और जो है एनकरेज कर सकें, जिससे कि एट्रिशन रेट जो है, जो इंडस्ट्री का भी इशू है, उसको हम सॉर्ट आउट कर पाए। बिकॉज आई ऑल्सो कंप्लीटली अंडरस्टैंड कि 200 घंटे का 300 घंटे का NSQF अलाइन कोर्स इंडस्ट्री के पास ना इतना समय होता है, बिकॉज एज पर द इंडस्ट्री दे टोल्ड मी कि एवरी 20 सेकेंड अ प्रोडक्ट कम्स अप। सो वो हर 20 सेकंड में जब गिनती कर रहे हैं, तो मैं बिल्कुल मान सकती हूँ कि वो 200-300 घंटे के लिए तो हमें नहीं देंगे कि हम लोग को ट्रेन कर पाए। बट एटलीस्ट अगर 7 to 10 डेज के लिए भी मिलेगा तो वी एश्योर कि उसके अंदर में डेफिनेटली एट्रिशन रेट जो है वो कम आएगा। सेकंड, जो एस्पिरेशनल स्किल्स की बात मिस्टर अय्यर ने भी की और आप भी कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें हम सर क्या कर रहे हैं कि अभी तक जो है वो SACI का फोकस जो है वो सर्विस जॉब रोल्स के ऊपर था, और उसके अंदर भी जो है अभी तक अगर हम देखें तो करीब 82% ट्रेनिंग भी हमारी सर्विस जॉब रोल्स पे हुई है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पे बहुत कम हुई है। उसके लिए क्या है कि लेवल 3 और लेवल 4 के कोर्सेज ज्यादा चलते थे, लेकिन अगर आज की तारीख में मैं बात करूं आपसे तो लेवल 5 के हम लोगों ने 20 कोर्सेज, लेवल 6 के 5 क्वालिफिकेशंस और लेवल 7 के 3 क्वालिफिकेशंस हम ऑलरेडी NCVT से अप्रूव करा चुके हैं। इसके अंदर में इसी सोमवार को जो है वो आई वाज विद SRM यूनिवर्सिटी मेन कैंपस इन चेन्नई, और हमने उनके साथ में टाई अप किया है जिसमें कि उनके ईयर 2, सेकंड, थर्ड और फोर्थ ईयर के बच्चे जो हैं वो हमारे क्वालिफिकेशन पैक जो इंडस्ट्री रिलेटेड हैं उनको वहां पे पढ़ाएंगे। उसके अंदर में VLSI डिजाइन, एम्बेडेड, IoT, AIML, मैकेट्रॉनिक्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल्स, ड्रोन, मोबाइल रोबोटिक्स, ऐसे कोर्सेज भी अब हम अपने ऑफर के लिए जो है वो लेके आए हैं, जिससे कि ऐसा ना लगे कि SACI सिर्फ उन्हीं बच्चों को पढ़ाता है जो 8वीं या 10वीं पास या 12वीं पास हैं, बल्कि now we are giving a complete bouquet of our qualifications for the students, either they are ITI, diploma, even in the BTech also. So that is one. Even I would like to tell you sir, with AICT has also allowed in a scheme called Karma कि बच्चा जो अपना 7th या 8th सेमेस्टर में जो है 6 मंथ्स के लिए जो इंटर्नशिप के लिए जाता था और उसका एक क्रेडिट जो है उसको मिलता है, वो अब उन बच्चों को अलाउ कर दिया है AICT ने कि वो हमारे सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल के एक NSQF अलाइन जॉब रोल क्वालिफिकेशन पैक को कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं और सर्टिफिकेट ले सकते हैं इन केस इफ दे डोंट वांट टू गो टू द इंडस्ट्री व्हाइल दे आर स्टडीइंग देयर। तो इसी तरह से हम लोग जो है सर दिल्ली स्किल यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ भी जितने भी पॉलिटेक्निक सभी हैं वो सब दिल्ली स्किल यूनिवर्सिटी के अंडर आ गए हैं, और इस 16 मार्च से वो हमें लास्ट जो सेमेस्टर है वो कंप्लीट SACI को दे दे रहे हैं, और उसमें हम उन बच्चों को उन पर्टिकुलर जॉब रोल्स के अंदर में हम इंडस्ट्री पीपल से ट्रेन करा रहे हैं, जिससे कि जब बच्चा फाइनली निकले कॉलेज के बाद तो सीधा प्लेस होके किसी न किसी इंडस्ट्री में जाए, इसके बजाय कि वो किसी मैन पावर कंसल्टेंट के पास जाए या नौकरी उसके बाद ढूंढे। होना यही चाहिए कि सीधा इंडस्ट्री टू कॉर्पोरेट, आई मीन क्लास टू कॉर्पोरेट, व्हाट वी आर प्लानिंग। सो ये कुछ इनिशिएटिव्स है जो हमने पिछले कुछ महीनों में जो है वो बनाए हैं। इसके अंदर इवन आई वुड लाइक टू टेल मिस्टर अय्यर ने जैसे डिजिटल एजुकेशन की बात की, डेफिनेटली नाउ वी आर ऑल्सो लुकिंग, शायद यू कैन से इट इज अ बून फ्रॉम द कोविड पैंडेमिक that now people have started accepting online education also. So now we are converting all our courses. Earlier it was used to be all physical trainings, but हम जो है अभी blended हाइब्रिड मोड ऑफ लर्निंग जो है उसमें हम लोग ला रहे हैं अपना ई स्किलिंग प्लेटफॉर्म भी। इसके अंदर डेफिनेटली शायद अभी हम उस स्तर पे नहीं है कि अपना डिजिटल चैनल लॉन्च कर सके, बट बिल्कुल विजन हमारा वही है कि शायद 24/7 ना करके उसको 2 घंटा 3 घंटा एक दिन के हिसाब से चालू करें और आने वाले टाइम में उसको जो है वो हम बढ़ाते चले जाएं। बिकॉज एट ESACI आई कंप्लीटली अंडरस्टैंड कि इट इज नॉट ओनली जस्ट ट्रेनिंग, it is all about training as per the industry requirement and then placing them. इवन जो मोटिव है आज के वेबिनार का वो सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि हमने सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर डाल दिया कि हमारे पास ये लोग आए थे और इसको हम करें, बल्कि आई हैव नोटेड डाउन ऑल द पॉइंट्स। आई विल बी कोऑर्डिनेटिंग विद देम विद यू ऑल आफ्टर द वेबिनार आल्सो दैट हाउ वी टेक दीज थिंग्स फॉरवर्ड। और इसमें से हम आप लोगों से अलग अलग इंडस्ट्रीज से जो इंडस्ट्री लीडर्स हैं उनसे समझे कि किस तरह से हम आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरा कर सकते हैं। एंड वी आर ओपन फॉर द कस्टमाइज्ड ट्रेनिंग्स नाउ। Even I have spoken to Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation last week and Karnataka Skill Development Mission. They have also agreed कि अगर वो NSQF अलाइन नहीं है, अगर वो नॉस बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग है कि आपको नहीं चाहिए 200 घंटा, आपको उसमें से 20 घंटा ही चाहिए या 25 घंटा चाहिए, तो वो भी हम करने के लिए उसके लिए अब आपके साथ में तैयार हैं। एंड अकॉर्डिंगली द स्टूडेंट्स कैन गेट सर्टिफाइड एंड दे कैन बी प्लेस्ड अकॉर्डिंग। सो वी आर वेरी वेरी ओपन फॉर आवर ऑफरिंग्स इन द कमिंग डेज and I'm sure we'll be connecting ahead with you after the webinar.
मैडम मैं एक बात कहना चाहूंगा, जो मतलब बच्चे इधर ज्यादा नहीं है, शायद टीपी ज्यादा है, कि बहुत मतलब हमें प्राइड की बात है कि हमने देखा है कि ये जो लड़कियां फैक्ट्री में काम करती हैं करीब 80% दे आर द ब्रेड अर्नर्स ऑफ द फैमिली। वो काम करके मम्मी पापा का देखभाल करते हैं, भाई का देखभाल करते हैं, बहन का देखभाल करते हैं। दिस इज वेरी हार्टनिंग, यू नो, एंड वेरी टचिंग। इस कमाई से पूरी पूरी फैमिली की देखभाल होती है, यू नो, दैट इज। हाँ,
बिल्कुल
yeah,
सर,
that's all. I don't.
बिल्कुल सर, आपने बिल्कुल बजा फरमाया कि बिल्कुल सर ये उनको एक आत्मसम्मान और एक सक्षम बनाने के लिए और एक जिसे कहते हैं ट्रूली एम्पावरमेंट ऑफ द गर्ल चाइल्ड, आई थिंक टू बी द ब्रेड विनर ऑफ द फैमिली, डेफिनेटली इट्स अ वेरी एम्पावरिंग and we are actually, you know, it's a great social transformation wherein, you know, the little girls and the other gender who was looked slightly down the country, now, you know, they're being empowered and they're rising up and also leading in all leading positions, plus contributing, you know, to their own families and getting more respect. And who would know that better than you, sir? You do such a I would just like to, I'm not too sure if it's the right forum, but, you know, Mr. Gururaj, he has 700 orphan girls whom he takes care of in his orphanage, and he looks after that through his resources. So it's a very commendable and it's a very noble cause, and, you know, with all respect and due regards, you know, to Mr. Gururaj for the great
our
work.
Orphanage is only for girls.
Yes, only for girls. So he says, you know, that he has 700 daughters. So that's a great. So लोग कहते हैं कि
clap for this, you know.
yes, yes. लोग कहते हैं कि अगर एक बेटी होती है तो वो आपको जन्नत का रास्ता दिखाती है। यहाँ तो 700 जन्नत के रास्ते एक बारी में गुरुराज साहब के लिए ऊपर वाले ने खोले हुए हैं। तो I think it's a great motivation for all of us. Thank you very much, sir, for those wonderful words. Mr. Subramaniam, I would like to come to you, sir, for some question. So would you be able to respond in Hindi?
Of course.
Great, sir. So, sir, actually, some girls, you know, they have asked the question that because you talked about like Reliance being in the like in the TV and the apps and so many channels, what are the opportunity for young girls in this area of service industry, sir?
So, I mean, there are आपने दो बातें पूछे। एक
Yes,
तो is it specifically यदि गर्ल्स के लिए पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप पूछ रहे हैं कि ये होम कनेक्ट का जो काम है
जी,
जो हमने शुरू तो जरूर किया था, जहाँ पे हमने होम कनेक्ट के लिए भी ट्राई, कुछ लड़कियों को हमने हायर भी किया था, बट फिर ये कुछ ज्यादा ही कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होने लग गए थे कि एक तो हम लोग उनकी सिक्योरिटी संभालना पड़ता था, बिकॉज वी आर आस्किंग अ यंग गर्ल टू गो टू समबडीज हाउस, शी मे बी टेक्निकली क्वालिफाइड, बट फिर भी उसके उसके साथ कोई और तो जरूर जाना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज हमें पता नहीं किसके घर में क्या माहौल मिलेगा। तो ये होम कनेक्ट का जो काम, दूसरा है कि ये फाइबर जो है सिर्फ आपके घर के अंदर लगाने का काम नहीं है, वो ये भी होता है कि कभी आपके बिल्डिंग के बेसमेंट में जाके वो पूरा टर्मिनेशन करना पड़ता है फाइबर, कभी मेन रोड से लेके आना पड़ता है, वगैरह वगैरह। बहुत सारे काम अलग से भी होते हैं जो आपको वैसे भी आप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कि अपना सेक्टर स्किल्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आई एम श्योर कि इतने सारे रोल्स हैं, अब इनको घर के अंदर लेके आना, कनेक्टिविटी देना, और ये कभी भी जैसा आपने कहा था कि इवनिंग शिफ्ट हो जाता है, कभी रात को आपके घर पे फाइबर कट हो जाती है, सो जॉब रोल्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि हम लोग गर्ल्स को अलाउ नहीं करते हैं, ना तो हम ये कह रहे हैं कि जैसा गुरुराज सर कहते हैं कि वी प्रेफर वुमेन, नो, हमारे पास ऐसा कोई बायस नहीं है आज की तारीख पे, वन वे और दी अदर, बट एट द सेम टाइम वी हैव सीन दैट वो लोग ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल नहीं होते होम कनेक्ट रोल्स पे ज्यादा, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली आज की तारीख पे आप देखेंगे अर्बन क्लैब और अर्बन लैडर ऐसे बहुत सारी कंपनीज हैं जो स्मॉल टाइम जॉब रोल्स को लेके दे आर एबल टू एम्प्लॉय विमेन हु आर एबल टू डू, बट दिस ये जो जॉब रोल्स है which is from home connect business, there are opportunities, but there are other opportunities which are available for girls who understand technology. आज की तारीख पे देखिए इतने सारे, अभी सुधांशु ने अपने को मेटावर्स के बारे में शुरू किया थोड़ा एक इंट्रोडक्टरी लेक्चर। अब आप ये देखिए कि let's say my grandfather decides to start participating in some of these areas, या उस एरिया में घुसना चाहते हैं, किसी young girl child can actually start thinking in terms of being the counselor for this person in terms of taking him through step-by-step process and making sure that he is safe. हमारे पास दूसरा एक कंपनी है जो जिसका क्रिप्टो टीवी करके अभी लॉन्च होने जा रहा है, ब्लॉकचेन के ऊपर, क्रिप्टो करेंसी के ऊपर। There are young children who are actually going to be teaching people. कोई हाउसवाइफ है, कोई एल्डरली पर्सन है, इतने सारे बैंकिंग फ्रॉड्स और गलतियां जो हो रही है, जामतारा तो इंडिया में ही पैदा हुआ ना, ये इसको कैसे हम अवॉइड करें, ताकि फिर नहीं तो फिर ये इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सेक्टर को तो बिल्कुल ही बदनाम कर देंगे। और आज की तारीख पे तो ये लोग अभी गुड़गांव में आके बसे हुए हैं सुन रहे। सो हाउ डू यू मेक श्योर दैट यू नो, एक तो हम लोग सिक्योरिटी इनको दिया जाए और साथ साथ में इन लोगों को ऐसा काम दिया जाए ताकि ये लोग अच्छे काम करें। एंड गुरुराज सर जो बता रहे थे दैट सम ऑफ देम आर ब्रेड विनर्स, डेफिनेटली, आई मीन इफ यू गिव एनीबडी एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू बी अ हॉनेस्ट ब्रेड विनर, आई एम श्योर ही और शी वुड प्रेफर दैट एज कंपेयर टू टेकिंग अप एनी अदर ऑल्टरनेट रूट्स which are not so honorable. So there are enough and more job roles available. And to ask your previous question, sir, in terms of site visits, आज की तारीख पे तो we are all working from home. Yeah, sure enough, we've done many of these on-site visits, experience centers वगैरह. But I think if it comes through the Sector Skills Council as a motivation for them, that will be far more disciplined and it will also be far more engaging in terms of saying that the right job roles को right kind of site visits are provided. नहीं तो anybody can pick up the phone and start based on मेरे पास किसी का कनेक्ट है, मैंने कोको कोला फैक्ट्री दिखा दिया। अरे दिखाया, लेकिन किस काम के लिए? ऐसे घुमाने के लिए थोड़ी लेके जा रहे हैं आप। सही में these are the children who need this for these job roles, और सिर्फ उनको लेके जाएं, make it look aspirational, make it look like it is a part of it, और उसको वापस आने के बाद he or she is accountable कि भैया तुमने वहां देख के क्या आया, मुझे बताओ, कैसे घूम फिर के खाना वाना खा के वापस आए। तो ये सब बहुत जरूरी है सर।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। आई थिंक बिल्कुल आपने जो सही कहा कि एक सेंस ऑफ पर्पस होना चाहिए हर चीज के लिए, एक सिर्फ एक ढूंढने के लिए। और अच्छे आपने बताया कि बहुत सारे अवसर इस क्षेत्र में हैं, लड़कियों के लिए लड़कों दोनों। उजय साहब, एक बहुत छोटा सा सवाल आपसे, क्योंकि अभी तो पूरा संक्षेप में गुरुराज साहब ने और साहब ने बता चुके हैं। एक मेरे पास सवाल आया है, तो शायद वो आप उसका उत्तर देना चाहें कि टेक्निकल ग्रेजुएट्स के लिए क्या अवसर हैं इस पूरे फील्ड में, चाहे वो इर्रिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स, तो जो टेक्निकल ग्रेजुएट्स हैं उनके लिए कितने क्या अवसर हैं इस पूरे क्षेत्र में, अगर आप थोड़ा उस पर रोशनी डालें।
मैं देखूंगा हमारे पास जैसे कि एक मिसाल के तौर पे विल टच अपॉन, जैसे सीसीटीवी है हमारी, तो सीसीटीवी जो है घर में भी लग रही है, कैंपस में भी लग रही है, कॉर्पोरेट में भी लग रही है। तो आप चाहेंगे उस सीसीटीवी को, और हमारे तकरीबन पूरे हिंदुस्तान में 2000 से ऊपर जो है कि रीसेलर्स है, तो अगर जो आदमी उस टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे डिजाइन करना है, उसको कैसे मेंटेन करना है, उसको कैसे उसको ट्रबल शूट करना है, तो उसके लिए टेक्नोलॉजी में अगर आप नेटवर्क देखोगे तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, ब्रिज हैं, वी आर ए ब्रिज बिटवीन हार्डवेयर एंड द सॉफ्टवेयर। जो बंदा हार्डवेयर टेस्ट होगा और जिस बंदे की सॉफ्टवेयर एबिलिटी ज्यादा होगी, इन दोनों को हम लोग कंबाइन करके वी ऑप्टिमाइज देम, जिसको नेटवर्क बोलते हैं। तो हमारे लिए कोई भी किसी भी स्ट्रीम का आदमी हो, अनपढ़ हो, गंवार हो, कुछ भी हो, अगर कंप्यूटर की और व्हाट्सएप अगर वो जानना चाहता है तो उसको हम लोग एक इनेबल कर सकते हैं, एंड ही एंड शी कैन बी कम इनटू द, दे विल गेट ए जॉब व्हिच विल बी मेक देम फील हैप्पी, दे विल मेक देम फील, रिटेल में हो, चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज में हो, चाहे बैंक्स में हो, हर एक जगह नेटवर्क ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजीज स्पेशलिस्ट व्हिच बिन रिक्वायर्ड, जहां पे जिसको बोलते हैं आप क्या डिजाइन करना है, क्या मेंटेन करना है, क्या ट्रबल शूट करना है। घर घर में राउटर है, बहुत सारे जो कि हमारे ई पार्टनर्स हैं, जैसे कि अमेजोन हो गया, फ्लिपकार्ट हो गया, टाटा हो गया, जियो हो गया, दे ऑल आर आवर पार्टनर and they have a broadband, so now if anybody wants a broadband and they need to give it the connectivity and the camera connectivity, they need to depend on the some techie guys who will go and install it at their house. तो हमारे पास ample opportunities है, and I'm sure that, and it's across the country. It's not only into the the metro city. It will be in the tier 2 city. It will be into the gram panchayat level as well. So we have ample opportunities to explore together.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think it answers all the questions. और जिन लोगों ने जो प्रश्न पूछे हैं, उसके अलावा भी हम हमेशा आपके पास हमारे ईमेल आईडीज हैं, हमारे कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर्स हैं, तो जो भी हमें ज्वाइन किए हैं, हमारे ट्रेन पार्टनर्स, हमारे आईटीआईज, हमारे इंडस्ट्री पार्टनर्स और बहुत से जूनियर कैंडिडेट्स हैं, वो हम संपर्क कर सकते हैं, और जो भी हमसे सहायता होगी हम पूरी उसकी आपको यकीन दिलाते हैं कि हम पूरा उसमें मदद करेंगे। अभी मेरे साथ मिस्टर सरोज आपतो हैं, हमारे वीपी बीडी, तो एक थोड़ा सा ESSI ऑफरिंग के बारे में, की कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट फॉर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंडस्ट्री, just give you a short talk and before wind up this start.
Good afternoon to all the eminent industry speakers. Actually, what I had to cover has already been covered by all the eminent speakers. ESSI, we are working as a catalyst. I mean, we are going to all the industry and we are saying what we are offering. And as Gurraj sir said, skilled manpower is a requirement. As he told that Noida, they are having 2 manufacturing units, and I also have been to those 2 units, and I've spoken to all the people and all. And there was a welcome, you can say, regarding the concept that I had shared with them. But still, there is a lot of you can say awareness and what I say regarding the offerings that we have, that has to percolate down to the you can say the HR level or the recruitment level, wherein they should also be aware of what Electronic Sector Skill Council is doing, because the practical experience has been that yes, more or less, although the top management is really aware and they are they want really to make it happen, take the skilled manpower and all. But when I go to, I mean, when we go to the recruitment or the HR or the manpower team, there is still a lot of awareness that has to be created there, because regarding the government initiative, the PLI, the specs, all these schemes, still has to be a awareness. I mean, it's already a lot of time which has gone, so I just take you through a few offerings which Electronic Sector Skill Council provides. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible to all. So we have covered this earlier also. We are into 9 subsectors, and here we're discussing about the communication and broadcasting. Going ahead, these are the, you can say, core engagements that ESSA wants with the industry. One is like we go into the market and we find what is the demand and the need analysis. We do the skill gap assessment, and this we do firsthand, like we go into the market. There are a lot of other research also that we do, but this is done by the internal team that goes into the market. And as of now, as I told, I have been visiting all the industries. I've been to Optimus also, and there's a manpower requirement of more than 1,500 to 2,000 as of now, which is the requirement, which is a first-hand requirement which I've got from them. Secondly, how we support the industries, we have a employment, you can say, a portal wherein all the requirements of the industry We take it, we put it on our portal, immediate requirement, we give it to the industry. And if there is a skill requirement, we take time and we give it in a, say we take a lead time of 1 month, 2 months, and then we train and give them the required manpower. So skill-based training, that is what comes after. When we take the requirements, we do train properly, take the proper assessments, and then we do the certification and provide the workforce to them. Industry apprenticeship program, this is also offering from us, wherein all the candidates who are not under the payroll or who are not under a confirmed job, who are under the contractual, they can be taken as apprenticeship, and government subsidize a part of their minimum wage, and that's such a support to the industry again. We do also recognition of the prior learning. All the people who have already got employed and who have been working there, they have acquired some skills. What we do is we try to acknowledge those skills, and we do a short-term 1-day program, and then we do an assessment and give a certificate, which is again a statutory certificate from the government that this candidate has got certain skills, and then we acknowledge those skills. So that's a recognition of prior learning. Last but not the least, the BWalk, as we have been discussing in this forum, we talk about industry and the academia. So we are a bridge between the industry and the academia. We have types with most of the, you can say, top institutes of repute, wherein we connect with them, take the requirements from the industry, make this matching, skill matching, and then we try to provide the skill manpower to the industry. There's something which is already we have discussed. I'll not go through this. Whatever the demand is there, we work according to that. We create the nurses, take the industry validation. This was regarding the SI job portal, wherein we provide this support to the industry. We take the requirements, help them hire candidates across the platform. Also do virtual job drives, and also we do physical counseling also, and help the industry get the required manpower. Well, this is the gist of all the activities or the offerings that we have for the industry, right from the curriculum to the industry interface to the job portal to the placement certification. So all these offerings are there. And as I started with the discussion that though we have all these offerings and we have support from the industry, but this has to percolate down to the recruitment and the manpower team, wherein they are aware of these offerings, and then when we approach them, they are also at a you can say at a level wherein they can interact and know about what those schemes and what is the offerings from the government and the sector skill, how we are planning to take the advantage of the skilled manpower and also support the industry to help increase its productivity by getting the right manpower. This was a short presentation from my side. Thanks for all the industry speakers. Stop.
Thank you very much, Mr. Apple, for giving a brief overview of the offering which KCC has for the industry. Also, as we come to an end, sir, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude for all our eminent speakers for joining us, all our training partners, the constituents of our ecosystem, our APs and other industry partners. And I would express my deep sense of gratitude, especially to Mr. A. Gururaj, Mr. Balasubramaniam Iyer, and Mr. Sudhanshu Ojha for giving a very vibrant and very lively discussion on the communication and broadcasting subsector. I thank our Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Abhilasha Gaur, for giving the keynote and also for engaging, with the speakers and to assure everyone here that this webinar as a mode of discussion may end here, but our ongoing relationships and we as a council are committed to work very closely with the industry, understand their qualitative and quantitative demand, and also to ensure a large part of our youth are skilled and they find opportunities. Thank you very much. I'm sure we go back with a great learning. Thank you. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. I'm signing off.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.